What is this? Who are you talking to?
Usually this show is like, you're scared to do comedy, and this is like, there's a rat under your hat. Daniel's on the keys. Daniel, say hello to the girls. Ah! Yeah, we're out here just messing around.
Was that the bite of 87?
Was that the bite of 87?
Wouldn't it be great if I just climbed on the ceiling?
That'd be
just
sick.
crawled. Just get support my weight, right?
Anthony's gonna see that and go, what'd they do on Assumptions?
Wait, Anthony's back as Smosh?
Hi, I'm Angela Giarratana, and today on Assumptions, I have Daniel Thrasher. Ladies and gents, he's known for his piano-based sketches, a bunch of stuff on the internet that we're gonna get into, and he's on Smosh a lot every once in a while. Daniel, welcome.
I like how you said a lot every once in a while.
He's on Smosh a lot every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like that quote from Anchorman is like, we're 60% of the time, all the time.
This is gonna be off the rails. We're gonna try to stick to this Google Doc that's a structure, but we're both not gonna be able to focus.
Did you hear my chest pop a moment ago?
Daniel.
I bet the law picked it up. I leaned back like this and my chest went,
You're a little silly little guy.
little.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. I just meant like, what a silly guy. Have you always been a silly guy?
I don't know, sure, yeah, I guess so.
The biggest assumption that people said that they believe about you is that you are being ratatouille'd.
Like puppeted by a rat? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Right off the bat, what do you think of that?
I do like cheese, but I'm very lactose intolerant.
End of interview.
Oh, well.
I'm kidding.
No, yeah, that's interesting. I've been compared to looking like the guy. Yeah, I get that a lot. I used to get that a lot more.
You look exactly like Linguini. You look like Linguini's musician brother.
Yes, with darker hair.
Darker hair. Okay, but
do.
besides just looking like him, have you ever seen this in comments, heard of this, or is this just complete
I've
nonsense
never heard
to
this
you?
before.
Okay. I mean, you do seem like you have a lot of talents that come out of nowhere.
Oh, thank you.
As someone that's worked with you before.
Dang.
We were in a music video together, and it was kind of like, you're a man of many talents. I'm trying to get behind why people would think you would be ratatouille'd. You are like a very one-stop shop kind of YouTuber.
Thanks, yeah. I went to a performing arts high school in
Me too.
Florida. You did? Where?
In the Valley.
Oh, here in LA.
Yeah, where'd you go to one?
Florida.
Shut up.
Okay.
A performing arts high school in Florida?
Yeah, the
I'm
Pinellas-
listening.
Pinellas County Center for the Arts, baby.
Okay.
Fun school. I was a musical theater major because I wanted to take voice lessons for free instead of just an acting major. I never knew how to sing before that. And
But
then-
there was an interest in music early on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing piano since I was 7.
Okay.
So, like, I knew how to, impress strangers 80% of the time.
And that's all piano players.
Right. They know one or two things, and they play the same one or two things, and then after that, they're good. And so I went to a musical theater high school, essentially, and then after that, I majored in film and TV at my college, Savannah College of Art and Design.
And that's where you met the rat.
That's where I
Who
met the
ratatouilles
rat.
you.
I took him from Savannah, Georgia. He went on the flight from Paris to Savannah, cooked at Paula Deen's restaurant. R.I.P. Now he's in LA.
She
with
died?
me. No, she did in a way.
Okay. That's
The
so
Paula we know and love is gone.
Okay, moving on to the next one. Another assumption people have about you is that you run up the stairs on all fours.
Oh, what is this? Who are you talking to?
Usually, I'm so sorry, but usually this show is like, you're scared to do comedy. And this is like, there's a rat under your hat. You go up the stairs.
I've never worn a hat on camera. What is this? I don't run upstairs on all fours? That's a hilarious assumption.
I don't know why.
I like that a lot. I should actually. Have you seen these people on TikTok that's like day 68 of walking on my hands? Have you seen that?
No.
There are people who will walk for an hour on all fours and they're like, delts are huge. They got giant forearms.
The poor wife of that man is like, honey, go to your kid's recital. Please stop making these videos.
You think he has a wife? That's the difference.
Okay, this is a good one then, actually. An assumption about you is that Daniel Thrasher isn't your real last name. It's a fake last name.
Daniel Thrasher is not my real last name. Thrasher is my real last name.
Thrasher's your real last name?
Yeah.
So your mother is Mama Thrasher?
Well, I mean, she was before the divorce.
Oh. Okay, that's so cool. What kind of last name? Where is that last name from?
I think it's an English last name. This is crazy. I went to a concert recently, and there was a guy who's like, "You're Daniel Thrasher," and I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm Daniel Thrasher."
Shut up!
I was like, "What do you mean?" He pulls out his ID. He shows me his ID in front of the security guy, who's really pissed off because he was trying to get people in the venue.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Look at this," and he shows me his ID. I think he went to Berkeley for music, and he also great musician and The same exact name. We were at the exact same concert. It was crazy.
All Daniel Thrashers are musicians. That's
Apparently,
wild.
that's what I've heard. Or in the military. There's a lot of us in the military.
Wow, all this intense music discussion is really helping me get my music fix. That reminds me of how I get my clothing fix from my personal stylist over at Stitch Fix. Shopping is hard, right? Luckily, I can avoid that with Stitch Fix. I hate going to the store for clothes. The things I want are never in stock, dealing with crowds is frustrating, and don't get me started on fitting rooms. But I found a better way, Stitch Fix online personal styling. As much as I love my Smosh hoodie, I can't get away with wearing it every day. Before Stitch Fix, putting together an outfit felt so overwhelming. What is too baggy? What is not enough baggy? Can I wear this t-shirt if I don't listen to the band? The band being Smosh, and yes, I can name all 3 of their albums. I can't. That's why I love having a Stitch Fix stylist. She gets me. It's like having my own personal Ratatouille pulling my hair and helping me decide my outfit. I give her my size, style, and budget preferences, and she sends me just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I order boxes when I want to and how I want to. No subscription required. I keep what works and send back the rest. No more stores, no more stressed, just personalized looks you love. Make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/assumptions. That's stitchfix.com/assumptions. Now, back to Daniel Thrasher. Another assumption about you is that you are a theater kid who mysteriously missed the cast party, but no one knows why.
You know what, honestly? I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay, it took us 4 assumptions to get to one real one.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Were you a theater kid? You were.
I guess I was, yeah. I was at a performing arts high school.
Yeah. Were you
college.
like in the theater kid clique?
I guess.
Because I was like a theater kid, but a little bit not cool enough and not a soprano. It was kind of just the girl with like a small range. So I wasn't one of the cool theater
You were the
kids.
girl with the small range.
You know those girls that are like, I love singing, but I'll play LeFou in Beauty and the Beast.
I see what you're saying.
And that's,
okay.
you know what I mean? Like it's not, I'm not a Belle.
I was like a weird combination of theater kid meets like film. I mean, I looked like a mule. Like I was carrying so many bags and tripods and like lights to school every day. Multiple bags on my back every day like a geek.
Simply too much gear.
But I vanished from parties.
Now that we have the assumptions about you, which are the most insane things, I'm going to ask assumptions just about comedy and music in general. You shouldn't be allowed to bring an acoustic guitar to a party. Have you been the guy who picks up a guitar?
Hell no. Well, no.
I knew it.
No,
you
if
are.
No. Guitar,
you
no.
reek pickups.
If there's a
guitar.
piano in the house, I have to touch it one time.
Okay. Why is that?
Cause I gotta see what it sounds like.
But this is like thinking about the guitar guy at a party is usually like kind of pulling focus. Like I want attention.
I'm not that way. I used to be that way. I'm not that way right
What
now.
changed?
Fame, or just I don't know, just like being recognized. Filling that bucket for me, is full now, and
Wow.
so I don't feel that need anymore.
I mean, that's impressive because some people that bucket is never full,
Yeah,
right?
there's no holes in my bucket.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't need to go to a party and like
Prove yourself a little
prove
bit.
anything. And also, you know, if anything, it's gonna be a piano. I'll sit down and I will play a piano just to like see what it sounds like and see how it feels and stuff. Like, how's the hammer action on this thing? Like, what's it sound like?
Wow.
You know, but other than
But
that,
you're not doing it for like the stereotype of guy with a guitar at a party, which
no,
is
which
like,
is
look
very
at
much
me.
a real thing. And
It is, yeah. And honestly, I'm shocked to hear that you feel like, I think it's so interesting to talk to people like you where you're like, oh, there was a certain time in my life as a creative that it switched where like I didn't need to win everything. I didn't need to be the funniest. I didn't need to be the most talented in everything. I could just be myself and it's enough. But that switch takes forever. And sometimes some people never hit that. And I wonder like what part, you said it was being like, just like recognized for your work on YouTube. Like when that was. Like I had a nurse come up to me once and she was like, me and all the ER nurses watch your guys' videos and it makes me so happy. And I think things like that made my switch go, that's enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
And you go, I don't need to like be on a Netflix show and be the lead and be so funny everywhere. And you know what I mean? So I'm wondering when that was for you.
There was one moment where I met a girl who, this was maybe when I had 100,000 subscribers. I think ever since that moment, I was like, I did good. And it was because she was on her way out in life. And we Zoomed, well, we Skyped at the time for like 4 hours. And she was, 15. She had aggressive metastatic osteosarcoma, and it was really, but we met for 4 hours, and
She's
told
like a
me.
fan of your work?
Yeah, she was a fan, and she couldn't play piano anymore because osteosarcoma, it's painful, like bone cancer, and so, playing the keys. And we met for a long time, and after that I was like, oh, anybody commenting something that's like, you got a big nose or whatever, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that makes like the
that's
little
great.
kid, like those dreams of being like, I have to be on SNL or something. Those things
Yeah.
like kind of go away because you're like, what I'm doing is doing something.
1,000%. And like, and I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's this whole, ultimately it's why do you create at all? And I think like my reason behind it is to try to make people's day a little bit easier, or like,
Yeah.
just get them to, I don't know, give them the energy to do the next thing that they need to do, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in like energy is contagious, even digitally right now.
Yeah, there you
Did
go.
that do something?
Did that do something?
So, yeah. I turn into like some,
Energy in your room. Energy in the podcast you're listening to.
I hope this is 32-bit float audio, otherwise we're screwed. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Okay, here's a good one. An assumption being comedy music is not real music.
I think that's ridiculous. I think music is the fastest way. It's a cheat code to get into people's emotions. And I think if you combine comedy with that, it's like music but on steroids. I think it's crazy. Because I'll tell you this, I've heard a lot of comedy music that sucks as music, and I would not call it music.
But it made you laugh?
How bad it was.
Got it.
So comedy's goal and music's goal, they have really similar goals, and I think that's to like change your emotional state by the end of the piece. So like comedy and music share this wizardry that I have this like belief system that you're casting a spell on somebody. You are saying words in a particular order to get a neurochemical result out of somebody else.
That is such a musician's answer of what comedy is, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
But but that is good comedians are a
Interesting.
tempo and that thing. I agree with what you're saying. But I also sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I think I'm a wizard, but I think I do comedy just to be relatable.
Other people
so
will
someone
think you're a
goes,
wizard.
I know, but I think like what I'm doing is nothing but just sharing. Because sometimes the biggest joke that lands hardest for me is something that's just familiar. And I'm like, oh my God, me too.
Isn't that weird?
But then sometimes someone does something, and I do think this about your stuff, where it's like a magic trick, where you go, boom, 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 the tempo of it, and I laughed.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's not like stand-up where you're like, oh my God, I do that to waiters too. Oh,
You don't tip them?
cut that out.
No! Keep it!
You have to cut that.
She said it before the interview.
I did it.
She said, hi, my name is Angela. By the way,
I don't tip
I don't
waiters?
tip waiters. Yes, I remember this.
Okay, another assumption, you can't love all music except country.
You know what? Beyonce made a country album. What is country? If you're going around telling people, I don't like country music, it's like, oh, yeah? Grow a personality. Have a freaking opinion. I bet you also don't like the word moist. Jesus.
Down the barrel moist.
Yeah,
You
like-
gotta down the barrel moist from this assumptions.
Yeah, dude. I'm about to take my shoes off, show you my feet.
Okay, Daniel. An assumption. You're scared to publicly state your true feelings about Taylor Swift's music.
We can go to the next question.
Blink twice if you like it. I'll move on. Here's some serious assumptions.
Oh, good.
Some people assumed that you were actually really shy and insecure growing up, and now you're very confident.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Have you always been confident?
Yes. And the reason is, and I don't even know if I present confident, maybe I do, I don't know. But when I was a kid, my dad, it's because of my dad. My dad was like a powerlifting champion. Like he's like a strong guy, could bench 425 pounds, weighing 220. Like he's a big dude. And I think,
Are either of your parents musicians?
no, nobody in my family.
Shut up!
Okay.
Wait, that's wild.
Yeah, it's weird. So because my dad was like, you go to school and you're a boy in the South. Like I was born in Virginia, and so it's like that whole thing about my dad could beat up your dad, and I'd be sitting there like my dad could wreck you. Like it's just a weird subliminal thing I had in the back of my mind. I know it's very like
I mean, it's like
archaic.
a 90s thing to be like masculinity
for
is
sure.
strength, right?
Yeah,
Like
and
physical strength.
And that's how I was raised, kind of. And so I think there was a bit of that kind of leaked into my belief system of I can do whatever I want because
my dad can beat up your dad.
Because ultimately I'm protected. Yeah, isn't that strange? And I truly think that's why.
Another assumption about you is that your obsession with isolating yourself is the key to your success.
Fascinating.
I didn't know you have an obsession with isolating yourself.
I don't know if it's an obsession. I think, well, that's interesting.
He's laying down, folks.
Interesting.
What does that mean? The assumption made him lay down.
It means I'm about to shit myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you an introvert? Do you isolate a lot?
I think nowadays I'm an introvert. I used to be, okay, so here's where this comes from. I lived in an apartment complex in Hollywood with 2 roommates. And then once I started making money on YouTube, I was like, I'm gonna get a 3-story townhouse to myself and just isolate. And I got it in a part of town where it's kind of far away. And I was researching, literally, I was Googling like isolation and creativity and like, is there any, cause like so many people are afraid to be bored now, and you have to let yourself be bored because that's where like insane ideas come. That's why so many of your good ideas are in the shower, is because you're not on your phone. But now people are on their phone. They got a waterproof phone and they got that freaking ring thing that they're scrolling through or whatever.
Oh my
And
God,
it's
I have
like,
so much to say about this. Keep going.
You have to be bored in order to be creative, I think.
Where did the original idea of like romanticizing isolation come from?
Getting away from my roommates.
Really? It was just like, I just can't write anything if people are watching.
Not even that. I think more so, honestly, I think is the urge to be able to, in comedy, to be able to scream without worrying about my neighbors. And so I got a townhouse that was like detached from, I was lucky enough to be able to get one, by the way. And I got one of those, I moved out there, and I moved there in February of 2020.
Wow.
The month before.
So what a time to be like, I'm gonna focus on isolation.
And then, and then I was forced to. And then
Yeah.
because I picked a location that was so far away from everything, I developed like agoraphobia for real. And like I like got real bad anxiety. And
Really?
like, yeah, really bad, really, really bad. Like bad, yeah, it was tough.
Wow.
And so I think, yeah, it was a lot, but I got out of it and-
Do you feel like you were the most,
my views skyrocketed.
No.
Like quadruple, yeah, it was crazy.
So you think the
Unfortunately, that's what
content was
happened.
even better or the volume of it?
Both.
Wow.
I think I was able to unhinge my brain and just like put out, like I see like the ideas that are in the back of your mind that are gonna work the best, in my opinion, are they're like a little itch in the back of your mind. They're like a hair that you gotta pluck. And you just gotta pluck those hairs when they scratch, write them down, and then eventually you can like create this mosaic of ideas and like steal from here and steal from there. But the way that you can increase your sensitivity to those ideas is to be bored.
An assumption is that you have a real life person that your hoodie guy is based off of.
Wow, that's a really interesting assumption.
Why is it interesting?
I don't know, because I've never been asked that before. I've never been thought of that. So I have a character named Hoodie Guy. He's like the first secondary character I've ever brought into my world. I think he's like my intrepid self.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like I think he's like unencumbered by what has been.
So he is based off of somebody and it's a part of you.
I guess so, yeah. I think all of them are parts of me. There's certainly some characters I've done that are based off of actual people, but I think like the first sketch I ever did with Hoodie Guy was called When You're a Show Off, where he sits down and somebody's trying to do
yes.
You know, and he goes down and he plays it way better, and he does like a jazz run up and down and all this stuff. And that actually happened. That's something I did to somebody in high school when I wanted the attention. And so there was a girl at a piano in the choir room, and she was sitting, I didn't know who she was, and she was sitting there, ba, 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 da, 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 da. And I walked up and I pretended not to know anything. This is awful. And very, I was 15 or 14 or whatever.
But that's what you do when you want attention.
And I was like, how did you do that? And I like pretended, I really messed it up on purpose. I started on the wrong note.
Shut the
up. Yeah, and then she goes, no, it's this. And she was teaching me, and I was like, I don't know. And I messed it up again. And then I was like, do you mind if I sit down? Let me try it one more time. And then I just like, just ran up and down.
And then she kissed you.
I think I blacked out after that, so I don't know what happened.
But that was Hoodie Guy. Like that's the beginnings of Hoodie Guy.
Yeah, he's like my dumb 14-year-old self.
Okay.
He's what I want to be, but I can't.
What is an artist or music style that people assume is bad, but you love?
Bagpipes.
When do you listen to bagpipes?
When I gotta do things.
It's like a productivity sound for you?
There's a band called Bad Haggis. So there's a great Highland bagpipe, which is a really wooden reed. There's a really loud one. And then the Julian bagpipe is like one that inflates itself, and it's kind of a plasticky, more charming sound. But I used to play bagpipes competitively and for a while.
What? Did I black out? Did you just, what age did you do that? You play bagpipes?
Dude, can I show you a photo?
You're lying.
Ah! I spilled a little! Only a little. Yeah, you wanna see a photo of me on the cover of like a festival brochure kind of?
Wait, I can't believe you actually, I thought you were fucking with me.
No, of course not.
Oh my God.
That's me. I think it was 13.
Guys, look at the shoes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're just a kid playing the bagpipes. I can't believe you didn't bring this up when I asked, like, you've always felt confident in your life, and you're like, yeah.
I mean, that matches, doesn't it?
That's wild. Why?
But like, have you listened to?
I'm gonna stop you there, no. They're gonna sue us for that.
I don't think they will. But it's like if you listen to these pipes, something clicks in your brain. Like, I gotta go to war. You know? And then you just like do the thing you're supposed to do. I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay, Daniel, you've reached the third layer of assumptions.
Like an onion.
Yes, it's when we look at pictures and we make assumptions. Are you
I
ready?
do that all the time. That's what
That's
everybody
what we
does
do,
on Instagram,
yeah.
right?
And we're gonna do it, but it's some funky stuff.
Uh-oh.
What would you assume this instrument sounds like?
It's really, I know what that is. And
It's one of those-
It's a stylophone, I think, is what it's called.
Okay, so it's a stylophone. Let's see what it sounds like. Sup. Yo, girl.
Which one of us gets to do the Jamaican accent?
No! That's so funny. So perfectly enough. We're like, hell yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, wow. It sounded like I thought it would.
Did it? Yeah, I bet you. Whoa, that was crazy.
This was pretty sick. I do feel like I'm like shopping at Forever 21.
Yeah, I'm in.
Do you have this in a small?
Yeah, I'm in an elevator that's going somewhere real weird.
Yeah.
Like people got.
Or you're like waiting for the band to come on. You're like, they're supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
My friend's dating the drummer. They should come on any minute now. Okay, next. What do you assume the pitch of the bite sound of
Ask me the damn question.
What do you assume the pitch is of the bite sound of 87?
What the fuck?
Hey guys, I think the little man said he wants to give Fredbear a big kiss. On 3, 1, 2.
The pitch of that? The pitch of that?
The pitch of the bite?
Of the pitch?
Ready, here we go.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that
The
note?
bite? I'm trying to get the bite's note.
Did you hear that out of this?
I heard the bite.
Well, if it's that, it's an E flat, is my guess.
Let's hear the bite.
But if that's the
Try to
sound-
help me find the bite. Note.
I've been looking for the bite. I'm
We're
on
fucking crushing this, dude.
Friggin'
My whole world is turned upside down. That doesn't make any sense.
same Markiplier, same. I can't even. You know what I think that is?
I feel like it's a
C5.
Five sharp? But it's just something
Yeah, it
else.
moves.
It moves.
To
C sharp, five sharp.
A4.
A4 sharp. I say that.
Let's see.
Got it.
Yeah, that
You guys gotta put harder shit in here.
That makes sense. That was silly.
Let's manufacture this so it looks like we got it. And they'll cut all of that out. Here's the bonus. What's the notes in What Was the Bite of 87?
That note?
Was that the bite of 87?
Was that the bite of 87?
Bite of 87.
Oh my God, get on.
That's what it is.
Was that the bite of 87?
You know what that-
87, 87. Was that the bite of 87? What note is that?
Because they're doing sharp. I would say D sharp, C sharp, and then like F. No.
Okay, so all of it is written now.
Oh, G sharp. C sharp, D sharp. Sorry, F sharp. What is it? What? A, G, C sharp.
Was that the bite? I also think maybe I'm singing it wrong. That might be it.
Hey, I knew a C sharp was in there somewhere. Can I also say I don't have perfect pitch, so
Yeah,
I like to be very confident about things that I get wrong.
What would you assume this instrument is?
Oh, I know what that is.
What?
A tomatone.
A tomatome!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Does it need to have eyes?
Wouldn't it be great if I just climbed on the ceiling,
That'd
like
be
just
sick.
crawled? This could support my weight, right?
That was good. Out of context, that's gonna be funny. They're gonna be like, Anthony's gonna see that and go, what'd they do on Assumptions?
Wait, Anthony's back as Smosh? Jazz.
This next part of the segment is called Assumptions. Here's a piano.
Love that part.
So you can do whatever you frickin' want.
Okay, well, let's see what the sounds are. This is the first thing I ever do.
Is go to the functions.
Oh, whoa, I transposed
He's
it.
he's transposing the piano, which means he's changing the key. Why are you doing that?
I'm not doing it on purpose! Sorry.
Okay, now we're back. Now go to function. We're looking under the hood.
Look at this puppy. This puppy, I said pappy.
Looking at the engine. It's the same note on both? I love a harpsichord. When I was little, I would always go to the harpsichord
Go,
mode.
play it. When I was young, I used to ride my bike, yeah. And then I got into a fatal accident. Now I am a ghost, and I'm creeping outside of your house. But I'm still a kid, little baby ghost boy.
That was a really good one, dude.
Frick yeah, dude. Frickin', let's see what else.
Okay, this is your episode. You around. Smooth Jazz with Daniel Thrasher. What's up, guys? You're back on the Assumptions radio station. We're out here raising money for teachers. Daniel's on the keys. Daniel, say hello to the girls. Yeah, we're out here just messing around.
I'm afraid of girls!
That's our pianist, Daniel Thrasher.
Yeah!
He's afraid of girls. This is so good, you're so good. Have you ever played a real organ?
Only human ones.
Jesus. And we're wrapping up here with Daniel Thrasher today. Daniel, thank you for being here. Will you play us out?
It's a very simple 4-chord song. We're playing it in E flat because this is Angela's favorite note. E
Thanks,
flat.
Daniel.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Yeah. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Yeah. My name is Daniel.
My name is Angela.
She sounds like that all the time.
And I am just the host, cause it's about Daniel.
And I am Angela.
And this was the outro song. Thank you for coming here to say goodbye, 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 goodbye.
I like how we both sound like we're yawning. I wonder if they have a bagpipe on here.
Thanks for watching. Now I'm gonna ask you assumptions.
Stop it! Explain the pigtails. Everyone wants to know.
It's just not my brand, right?
That's not what I'm asking. What happened?
I had a bad Sunday night. You know when you have a Sunday scary night and you're like, what am I doing with my life? So then you drive to a store. I drive to Target to feel something sometimes.
Yeah.
And I walked around and I went in the kids' cosmetics section, because that's a thing now.
You went to kids' cosmetics section?
Yes. And I saw these and I said, that's gonna fix me.
When you say these, do you mean...
They're like press-ons.
Are they?
Yeah. It's just not my brand.
Did you cut them back?
Yeah, I had to cut them. It's like a whole thing. You have to like follow the instructions.
You didn't want them long at all?
I have to stop this conversation.
What's the deal?
We're here to talk about you.
Just do a miter saw on it.
Okay.